Good evening, my name is Father Rayappa. I'm talking about Laudato Si and Pope's writing, in which he recommends ecological education and spirituality. Education is the first, it's a basis for everything, and spirituality is another force which enforces your beliefs, what you have learned in ecological education. So Pope is writing brilliantly, and paragraph number 220 I want to read, and very nicely written, and it can encourage every person on the planet, 7 billion people, because this document is written for the people of goodwill, those who have good heart, good consciousness, and the people of righteousness. Everybody can follow and listen to Pope Francis. So here is what is he writing in the paragraph number 220 of Laudato Si. He is calling for ecological conversion. I already spoke in the previous segment about ecological conversion, and he explains about what is ecological conversion is all about. He writes as follows. This ecological conversion calls for a number of attitudes which together foster a spirit of generous care, full of tenderness. First, it entails gratitude and gratuitousness, a recognition that the world is God's loving gift, that we are called quietly to imitate His generosity in self sacrifice and good works. Do not let your left hand do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Matthew chapter 6, verse 3 to 4. It also entails a loving awareness that we are not disconnected from the rest of creatures, but joined in a splendid universal communion. As believers, we do not look at the world from without, but from within, conscious of the bonds with which the Father has linked us to all beings. By developing our individual God given capabilities, an ecological conversion can inspire us to greater creativity and enthusiasm in resolving the world's problems and in offering ourselves to God as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, as St. Paul would write in Romans chapter 12, verse 1. We do not understand our superiority as a reason for personal glory or irresponsible dominion, but rather as a different capacity, which, in its turn, entails a serious responsibility stemming from our faith. So, this is a very, very important paragraph, and we need to admit that this world is a beautiful gift, and we need to live with other creatures in solidarity and relationship. Pope is writing so beautifully in the middle of this paragraph. It also entails a loving awareness that we are not disconnected from the rest of creatures, but joined in a splendid universal communion. My God, that's a brilliant word, splendid universal communion. So far we have perceived that other creatures, just for using, they are created just for human use. But no, these creatures, they are our companions. We are united in a splendid universal communion. It's not to abuse them, but use them, learn from them. There are a lot of things. So that tells you that we are brothers and sisters. As St. Francis used to say, brother wolf, sister lamb. So also the responsibility what has been given to us by God, till it and keep it, especially Genesis chapter 1, 26, 27, 20, the dominion. We have misunderstood that. But Genesis chapter 2, 15 says, till it and keep it. That's a responsibility. And it is not a superiority. many times we understood as a superiority. That's why we ended up in irresponsible dominion. But rather, it is a different capacity, which in turn entails a serious responsibility stemming from our own faith. So, we are called to responsibility and faithfulness and accountability. And thank you and have a nice day. Bye.